Pernah gak sih kamu merasa sangat menginginkan sesuatu, namun dunia seolah tidak berpihak padamu? Nah, mungkin lagu dari The Smith yang berjudul Please Please Let Me Get One I Want cocok banget buat kamu yang merasa seperti itu.
So please, 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 let me.
Dan di cerita hari ini kita akan membahas makna mendalam tentang lagu ini. Jadi apa sih maknanya, kita akan bahas di video kali ini. Please, 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 let me get one I want dirilis pada 20 Agustus 1984 sebagai sisi B dari single William It Was Real Nothing. Meskipun hanya berdurasi kurang dari 2 menit, lagu ini menjadi salah satu karya paling menyentuh dari The Smith dan dimuat dalam album kompilasi Heart Full of Hollow serta Louder That Booms. Lirik lagu ini menggambarkan seseorang yang merasa hidupnya penuh dengan kekecewaan dan keputusasaan. Ia memohon agar sekali saja dalam hidupnya ia bisa mendapatkan apa yang diinginkannya. Lagu ini menyentuh tema keinginan yang mendalam, harapan dan pencarian jati diri di tengah kesulitan hidup.
Lord knows it would be the first time.
Morrissey, vokalis The Smith, pernah menyatakan bahwa lagu ini adalah sebuah pukulan singkat yang sangat kuat. Lagu ini menjadi cerminan bagi banyak pendengar yang merasa terasing dan berjuang dalam kehidupan mereka. Pesan lagu ini tetap relevan hingga saat ini, mengingatkan kita bahwa harapan dan keinginan adalah bagian dari pengalaman manusia.
Haven't had a dream in a long time.
Lagu ini juga telah banyak di-cover oleh berbagai artis dan muncul dalam beberapa film seperti Paris Blue Day Off dan 500 Day of Summer.
I love the Smiths.
Sorry?
I said I love the Smiths.
Please, 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 let me get one I want adalah lagu yang singkat namun penuh makna. Ia mengajak kita merenungkan tentang keinginan, harapan, dan perjuangan dalam hidup. Lagu ini mengingatkan kita bahwa meskipun hidup penuh tantangan, harapan akan selalu ada. Nah, mungkin segitu yang bisa gue sampaikan di video kali ini. Terima kasih yang sudah menonton, dan kalau kalian suka dengan konten-konten makna lagu seperti ini, kalian bisa like, komen, dan juga subscribe channel ini agar kalian tidak ketinggalan video-video terbaru dari gue. Dan gue Bem, sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya.
Good times for a change. See the luck I've had could make a good man turn bad.
The alternatives weren't very glamorous. If I left the room, I'd probably end up at some obscure pub or wandering about the park, which was always quite dangerous. I really had no options. I mean, I was living the kind of life, I was unemployed for a very long time and I had no money. I was living a life to a large degree that I didn't choose, being financially absurdly embarrassed. So it really seemed to me that I would never ever settle for second best in life. that if I couldn't have exactly what I wanted, then I would have absolutely nothing. Because to me, nothing always seemed more important to me than a false something or something that I didn't really want. So therefore I stayed in. I did nothing. I just wrote, and I was determined that if I couldn't have exactly what I wanted, then I would disappear into the woodwork.
Because most teenagers become obsessed with sex.
Mm.
Did you go through that period?
No, I never did. I think I brushed quite close when I was 19 and 20, but previous to that period I didn't give it a great deal of thought, and it wasn't really something that I really needed to think about, because in my life it didn't really exist. I was aware that certain things should have occurred and certain things should interest me, and I was aware of teenagers around me frolicking about and being incredibly inconsequential and free thinking, which I never was.
You regret not sowing in wild oats, etc.
Yes, I do. I do regret that.
In those days, did you spend any evenings fumbling in the back seats of cinemas?
Fumbling in haystacks? No, I certainly didn't. Whenever I went to cinemas, I always raced for the front seat, I'm afraid. I was that boring.
You say in other interviews that you're now celibate.
Mm.
Is that true?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I don't have a certificate, but I can only say that I am.
Was your celibacy then prompted by a bad experience?
I've had very few experiences, but they have been bad, yes, and they were a very long time ago. And it's not something that I would like to repeat it, but this gets incredibly delicate and icy, and it becomes almost difficult to talk about. But yes, I would say that it was. I did lose the very idea that any communion between two people could possibly be enjoyable. I did lose that particular thread, and I did become enormously depressed to the point where I believed that any kind of relationship was almost impossible.
But you once said that being a sex symbol was the best thing to be.
Mm. But that was at a time when I thought that it could possibly never happen, and to a small degree it has happened. I
So
mean,
do you consider yourself a sex symbol?
well, other people do seem to, so therefore in a way I suppose I must be. I mean, it's not something that we decide for ourselves. We don't say, yes, I'm going to be a sex symbol, and I will appeal to lots of people in an immensely sexual way. That's not something that we decide. Other people decide it, and to some degree they have. I mean, I get letters saying, Morrissey, you're incredibly sexy, and of course I throw them away.
You throw them away?
No, I frame them.
What do you do with them?
Oh, I keep them all. I reply to them and take their phone numbers, etc. No, I don't.
You're being slightly flippant.
Yes, I'm being unnecessarily flippant.
How contrived is your public image?
It's not in the least bit contrived, but when you fall into the public eye, it seems to me that regardless of what you do or what you wear or what you say, it is construed as an image. I mean, you can wear no clothes at all and that will be seen as an image. So it's really quite inescapable, the whole thing. So there's no answer to that. One comes under the searchlights, the scorching searchlights, and everything that you do is an image.